You think surviving one cursed mummy would be enough? Apparently not. Return of the Mummy, Goosebumps Book number 23, released in 1994. This is one of the few direct sequels of the original Goosebumps series. If you liked Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, R.L. Stine basically said, let's do it again, but bigger. Gabe heads back to Egypt for another summer with his Uncle Ben and his cousin Sari, whose archaeological team has just uncovered an ancient pyramid contained an unopened royal tomb. Before long, Gabe starts noticing strange signs that something isn't right. His mysterious mummified hand, known as the Summoner, reacts strangely. Eerie warnings begin piling up, and a curious reporter named Nyla seems unusually interested in everything surrounding the discovery. As the team prepares to open the tomb of Prince Karu, Gabe realizes that some ancient curses are probably best left undisturbed. This is another fantastic cover. I love how it immediately tells a story without giving away too much. Front and center, you got this beautiful golden sarcophagus with the arms crossed over the chest. Exactly how you'd picture an ancient Egyptian coffin. But then you notice something. There's a mummy slowly creeping out from behind it. You can't even see its face. All you see are these old wrapped up arms reaching out from the sides of the coffin like it's about to grab somebody. I think that's what makes this cover so creepy. It doesn't show you a face. Your imagination fills in the rest. I also love the color contrast. The bright gold of the sarcophagus really pops against those cool blue stone walls. And then you got this weird brownish yellow mist drifting out from behind the coffin. Honestly, it looks like the mummy's letting out the biggest fart of his life. In human history, really. I mean, this guy's been sealed in that tomb for 3,000 years. I'd probably have to fart too. I honestly think this is one of the stronger sequel covers in the original Goosebumps series. It feels bigger, more cinematic, and immediately lets you know that Gabe's nightmare in Egypt isn't over. He's back from the dead. It's simple, but it works perfectly since it's a sequel to The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Spoiler warning, you have been warned. Now, let's talk about that ending. The entire book makes you think that Prince Karu is going to be the big bad guy once he's back to life. Instead, the real villain turns out to be Nyla. She's been manipulating everyone the whole time because she wants to use the mummy for her own purposes, even calling Karu her brother. But the mummy has other plans. Instead of attacking Gabe and Sari, Karu grabs Nyla and demands to finally be allowed to rest in peace. During the struggle, Gabe accidentally breaks Nyla's magical pendant. That's when she reveals the pendant has been keeping her alive for over 3,000 years. She rapidly ages and transforms into a scarab beetle. I actually thought that was a pretty creative twist. You spend the whole book worrying about the mummy, but the real danger was standing right beside you the entire time. Of course, it wouldn't be Goosebumps without one last scare. That night, Sari warns Gabe that Nyla may still be alive as a scarab beetle. As Gabe climbs into bed, he suddenly screams in pain. Classic R.L. Stine ending. So let me get this straight. You survive one cursed mummy, and your first thought is, let's go back to Egypt. No thanks. Also, if an ancient tomb literally says, let me rest in peace, maybe, just maybe, listen to it. And Gabe, maybe stop reading ancient resurrection spells out loud. Has nobody in Goosebumps learned that lesson yet? Seriously, these kids activate curses like they're pushing elevator buttons. The TV episode follows the book pretty closely, but there are a few noticeable changes. The episode skips Gabe arriving in Egypt by plane. Instead, it opens with him already in the pyramid, exploring with Uncle Ben and Sari. Another change involves the Summoner. In the episode, Gabe tells Sari he bought the mummy hand at the airport, while in the book, she already knows about it, because it's the same magical hand from the Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, where Gabe originally bought it at a garage sale. The TV version also cuts out quite a bit from the story. Dr. Omar Fielding is completely removed. Uncle Ben's archaeological crew never appears. The funny scene with the guy dressed as a mummy filming a bandage commercial is completely gone. Instead of the spell being like 6 different words, instead it's just 3 words, so it's a lot shorter. The biggest differences come near the ending. In the book, Gabe accidentally breaks Nyla's pendant, causing her to lose her immortality and transform into a beetle. In the episode, Prince Karu destroys the pendant himself. The mummy also keeps attacking Gabe after Nyla is defeated, where in the book, he finally rests in peace. The episode ends with the summoner mysteriously crawling into Gabe's suitcase on its own, teasing you that another adventure is on the horizon and everything isn't over yet. Personally, I think the book has the stronger ending. Nyla's reveal feels more satisfying, and having Gabe accidentally defeat her makes him feel more like he's involved in the climax than the TV version does. So Return of the Mummy is another book I never owned as a kid. I do remember this book sitting on a shelf in the book fair, though I remember thinking, oh, cool, they made another one. But just like I mentioned when I reviewed the first Mummy book, mummies were never really my thing. I was more into ghosts, haunted houses, monsters, werewolves, that sort of thing. So I ended up passing on this one. That being said, I definitely remember the cover. I mean, how could you not forget this cover? I mean, you got a mummy creeping out from the sarcophagus, which is crazy. And then it looks like he's letting out the nastiest fart in human history. It's just drifting out of the coffin, which is really crazy. And seriously, that poor guy, he's been sealed in there for over 3,000 years. I'd probably have to let one rip too. I remember watching the TV episode when I was a kid. It was actually one of those Goosebumps episodes I remember pretty clearly. And honestly, I just didn't really like it back then. I rewatched it recently and it's better than I remembered. It's not a monster that I automatically gravitate towards. While I actually really appreciated this one, it just wasn't a book that I read growing up. And I think that's okay. I mean, everybody has certain books they like, they didn't like. And for me, this one just kind of got forgotten, unfortunately. Well, thanks for watching. And remember, if an ancient mummy asks to be left alone, maybe just leave him alone. Next episode, we're checking out Phantom of the Auditorium, where a middle school play proves that sometimes the drama is behind the scenes. See you then.